Surviving in a seller's market. Here's some tips for you to help you buy in a very competitive environment. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Jeff Trevarthen, Jeff the Mortgage Pro. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate when you guys watch my videos. It really means a lot to me. I'm always flattered when I get comments and you guys reach out to me and want to learn more about mortgages. Let's look today about some of the things that you can do to give yourself a competitive advantage in a seller's market. So I would say that we've been in a seller's market for the last 15 years, ever since the 2008 recession. There was a couple of years after that where it was pretty ideal to be able to buy a house and it was a buyer's market. But since then, as interest rates started to go down, even as interest rates have gone up over the last couple of years with the low inventory, it's definitely made it so that it has been a seller's market. So how do we compete as buyers in a seller's market? And these are 5 tips that are going to help you out and give you the best chance of getting into a home in a competitive seller's market. Okay, so the first thing you want to do, definitely number 1, is to be prepared and get pre-approved. That means we need to know what your numbers are. We need to know what an underwriter is going to tell us that you are approved, or what things we need to do to get you approved. And by doing so, that's going to give you a huge advantage over most people. Okay. When I always like to talk about this, it's in our industry, there's a lot of misinformation out there about the different levels of pre-approval. So if you're just to go online and you submit something to, one of the mortgage companies, that's just a basic thing. They haven't collected any documents. They have no idea if the numbers that you entered are correct or not. But those people call that being pre-approved. That's not being pre-approved. That's just a simple pre-qualification that anybody can do, because you can lie on that stuff and it doesn't even matter. When you actually get pre-approved, that means that as a loan officer, we've taken a loan application, we've collected documentation that supports the information that we're putting on the loan application. We have your credit run. We know all of the different things about you, maybe even your blood type, really, right? But we actually take all that information and we send it to an underwriter, who's the person that makes the ultimate decision on whether you get a loan or not. And when an underwriter looks at that and gives us the thumbs up, we know that we're going to be able to get you a loan on that going forward. It's definitely going to depend on the property itself that you actually buy, but for the most part, you are qualified or approved as a borrower going forward. Some loan officers, depending on the type of loan, will do a automated underwriting system, and those are great. Those actually will qualify, but again, the numbers can be manipulated on those things. We always want an underwriter to look at it if we possibly can, to be prepared and get you pre-approved, fully underwritten, so that you're ready to roll in a competitive seller's market. Number 2 is to act quickly and decisively. And what that means is that homes in sellers markets, like good ones, they don't stay on the market for very long. So if you go and see a property and you really like it, you got to be decisive and you have to act quickly and make an offer on that property to see if you can get in the game. You're going to see, or you have seen over the last several years, multiple offers on lots of good homes, and the best one wins, right? So you have to definitely act quickly and decisively if this is a property that you want. If you sit on it too long, somebody else is going to jump in there and they're going to go in there and they're going to buy it, and you're going to feel like you got screwed, right? And we don't want you to feel that way. We want you to make sure that you're acting quickly and decisively when you're buying a home in a competitive seller's market, which is definitely what we're going to have right now. The number 3 thing you can do is be flexible in your negotiation strategies. So in a competitive market, you may have to, you may not have very much negotiating power as a buyer. So you're going to have to be flexible and open to compromises. And what this could mean is that, you could look at your contingencies if you have those in your state, and removing those. You could put, you're not going to be able to really ask for a lot of repairs on the property. You're not going to be able to ask for like a lot of seller credit. Well, most of those things are all going to play a role in whether you get the property or not. So definitely you have to be flexible in those negotiating tactics when you're trying to buy the property. The sellers have all the power in a seller's market. That's why it's called a seller's market, right? So you have to be flexible in what your terms are when you're trying to buy that house. Number 4 is work with a local real estate agent. A local real estate agent with experience in this market can provide like valuable insights. Oftentimes they have access to properties that are not yet on the market, and they can potentially get you a good deal and before all the other competition it is. And that's a great way to do it. So if you have somebody that's local, that's an expert in your market, definitely work with somebody that does a lot of transactions and works with a lot of buyers. The reason why you want to do that, you don't want somebody that doesn't have a lot of experience that is representing you, because they're not going to get a lot of looks on some of these properties that have multiple offers. You're not going to have a competitive advantage with a real estate agent that is a friend or family member that only does like 1 or 2 transactions a year. You're going to need somebody that has done several transactions in the area or the market that you're trying to buy in. And those people are going to have the best information and best negotiating skills to be able to get you into the house that you want to buy. Okay, so that's number 4. Make sure you work with a real estate agent that's local. And number 5, what I want you to do is make sure that you have realistic expectations going into the game. You probably are not going to be able to find everything on your wish list when you're looking for a property in a seller's market. Because of the competitiveness that we mentioned before, you're definitely going to have to make some compromises here. So understand that in the seller's market, you might not get every single thing on your wish list. Always be realistic about your expectations and prioritize the features that mean the most to you. So if you absolutely need 2 bathrooms, make sure you find a house with 2 bathrooms. But if you need a house with 4 bathrooms, but you could live with 3, then you might need to compromise on something like that. Okay. So definitely take those into consideration, set realistic expectations for yourself going forward so that you can compete in a seller's market. Okay. So to recap, be prepared and be pre-approved. That's number 1. Number 2 is act quickly and decisively. Number 3, flexible negotiation in your negotiations with the seller. Number 4 is work with a local real estate agent. And number 5 is make sure you have realistic expectations for yourself and your realtor has realistic expectations of what you're going to try to get when you buy a property. Those are the things you're going to need to do to be able to be successful in a seller's market going forward. If you guys have any questions about this, or if you need references to local real estate agents, or you need a mortgage pro like myself, I'm happy to help you out. I'm going to put my calendar down below, so go ahead and click on that link, and I'd love to chat with you about this. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I will see you on the next show. Bye.